Okay. Hello. Hello, 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 beautiful people. My name is James, and I'm going live today to share about hello, beautiful a correspondence I received. My name is James, and now this person wrote in to me or emailed me and wanted some coaching. And so if you weren't aware, you can go to the website lovelightlaw.com and you can request one-on-one coaching with me. We can have a conversation together and you can share with me what you're creating. I can share with you the techniques I've used from Neville and others to create and manifest the results in my life. And uh, there's a there's a link on the website that you can do that. Okay. This person wrote into me though with a question, and I asked her if I could share the question and read it out loud on a YouTube, and she said that was okay. So so this person wrote in, they said, uh, I'm currently manifesting my dream job and dream home for myself and my 5-year-old son, but I have a hard time looking past the 3D circumstances. For example, not meeting every qualification for my dream job, not having great credit, etc. Additionally, I started talking to a guy I really like again recently, and we have gotten super close, and I would really like to be in a committed relationship. I know we can have anything we desire, but I struggle sometimes with getting into the state of knowing it's mine and living in the end. So, my question, your dream home, also manifesting your dream job, and you're in a relationship and you're manifesting your dream partner. So, these are three big goals that you have, visions. Okay. Now, when I coach someone, I identify four the four quadrants: time, money, freedom, love relationships, health and well-being, and purpose, vocation, purpose, career. Okay. Now, you're you're manifesting, three out of these four areas. And these are big things. So I want to just, I want to address one because like we all want to manifest the our dreams and and doing them at the same time can be a little overwhelming. Um, because for one, you want to be very specific with your goal, right? And you also want to allow yourself the space to to I mean, look, you're you want to start with small goals because what I'm hearing in your question is a lack of confidence and certainty. Because the very last thing you said was that you struggle with being afraid and getting your hopes up. And we all, most of us, have been let down in the past, or we have not kept our promises to others and to ourselves, and we have fallen short. So you're not alone, okay? and the thing is, you want to start with manifesting have some big goals and have some small goals. Now, as far as the technique you want to use, okay, there's a law called the law of gestation, which decrees that everything has a time in which everything has a gestation period. Okay, and when we look at nature, you'll see that, a baby takes 9 months to develop and come into the world. You know, let's look at a horse. A horse takes 6 months, right? Or let's look at a fruit or vegetable. Okay, so there's a time it takes for the seed to be planted until it comes to fruition and bears fruit. Now, when it comes to your dream, you do not know how long it's going to take, okay, to manifest the dream home. You don't know how long it's going to take to manifest the dream job. And you take steps towards your goal and assuming the feeling of the wish fulfilled, as Neville taught us, you hold true to the faith because creation is finished. You remind yourself, okay, you can what you want to, there's another technique you can use is have some structure around you to support uh you know reminding yourself. It could be a vision board, it could be an alarm in your phone, it can be a post-it note on the fridge, okay? Put reminders around you in your environment, because when you doubt, when you have a lack of confidence, uh, you need to bring yourself right back to the feeling of the wish fulfilled. And the one of the biggest pitfalls we all have had, but one of the biggest pitfalls you will have is doubt. And as you know, Neville said that doubt was, if there's one sin, it's doubt. And so that's just so so you are already with a person that you have an opportunity to build a relationship with and have become the relationship of your dreams. So I would, if it were me, I would, clarify what that relationship looks like 5 years from now, 10 years from now, and have that conversation, have that dialogue with your partner about where he envisions the relationship going, right? And then you work backwards. And so you have to, give yourself the space and the room for your humanity, okay, to work out, the details. And when things don't look the way you want them to, in the relationship, because you have had the conversation and the discussion, and you've gotten on the same page, you can bring yourself back to what's the vision, what's the purpose and the goal. Because your feelings will wax and wane, right? They ebb and flow. Things happen that are out of our control. And so you bring yourself back to the vision. Okay. And you asked me, how do you um just get into the state of knowing and conviction about your desires? And like I said, you want to set some small goals that you can achieve, right? Some smaller goals. Practice manifesting by assuming the feeling of the wish fulfilled. That requires some discipline. Okay. Neville's technique of the pruning shears of revision, super powerful. He writes about it in the book Awakened. I believe it's in Awakened Imagination, the pruning shears of revision. Okay. But your time to visualize and sit in stillness and just allow yourself to imagine, you know, what it feels like to accomplish, to have, to be the person who has accomplished the vision that you have for this particular area of your life. And you just practice that. You just practice that. Okay. It doesn't have to be, it can be structured or it could be more relaxed, just whenever you think of it, or set a reminder in your phone to do it every day, you know? I mean, structure is really the best. Having structure, a reminder, on a calendar occasion, I highly recommend it. So just a quick story, one of the things that I loved was the idea of having a book signed by Neville, one of his books actually signed by him. And I remember when I was beginning to work with Neville in my mind and apply it in my life very seriously, very intentionally. Uh, I started with something that was, manageable, something I thought, okay, I can manifest this, and it's not like super super big, but okay, I'll start with manifesting a book signed by Neville. So I would sit in my chair and in the mornings, in my morning meditation, and I would visualize, just imagining, maybe I would drive to a thrift store or a used bookstore, and I would go and picture myself driving, and I'd arrive, I'd walk in, I'd ask an employee, "Hey, where's the used book section?" And then I'd walk over and I'd start looking through all these books because there's usually a lot of books, and I just flip to the front page of these old books, and there it was. I'm looking at one of Neville's books, an original copy, and I turn to the front page and it's signed. And I'm like blown away. Oh my God, this is actually happening. I found his book. And I would sit there and just allow myself. Maybe it took 5 minutes, in the mornings, and I would imagine uh, having the actual book, right? And I would do it at night sometimes. And so anyway, fast forward, I don't know, many months later, but one morning I just got the idea. I'm gonna go and look up on eBay if there's uh any of Neville's books, an original first printing of his books, because everything I had was like a reprint. Uh, so I did a search, Neville Goddard rare books, and there was a copy right there of Awakened Imagination, actually, and it was a signed copy. And I'm like, oh my God. And I don't remember how much they asked for, but I had the money and I bought it right there. And a couple weeks later, I got the book, and it was amazing. And I emailed the seller, right? And I asked her, I said, "Hey, I just saw your book, saw when you posted the book, or I saw the book posted, and I'm just amazed that I found it, and thank you so much." And she emailed me back and she said, you know, when you bought the book, I had literally just posted it that day. Maybe it was like an hour, before I found it. And so it was just meant to be that I had the book. And yeah, so look, you can manifest whatever you desire. Okay. And so I encourage you to just practice and have your big goals, but have some small goals and allow yourself to remember you don't know when the universe is going to deliver the result that your vision. Okay. You don't know how fast it's going to zoom. So getting frustrated, getting anxious, getting tense, right? When it's not happening is you got to remember that you don't see everything with your physical eyes. You've got to hold it in your mind. Okay. If you can hold it in your mind, you can hold it in your hand. You just keep repeating that. Okay. You're developing a muscle. All right. So that's my coaching. Thank you very much for watching. It was a pleasure, and I will see you in the next video.